Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm ALANA Palm, Christian trauma release and mind renewal specialist, and I help Christian women overcome overwhelm, fear, frustration, and trauma from a Christ-centered perspective. If this interests you, please continue watching. Today, we are talking about 3 things God wishes you knew about being busy. And this is such an exciting topic. I'm really excited to share this with you. So, the problem with being busy all the time and doing so much for everyone else is that eventually you need to stop, right? You just can't keep going at that pace forever. Eventually you get completely overwhelmed if you aren't already, and you crash, right? And look, if you like trying and striving and working and doing all the things that make you feel exhausted and frustrated and near empty at the end of the day, then I can tell you that there are lots of doctors out there who can prescribe you some kind of an upper to keep you going at that level, right? So you can keep trying and striving and doing and working. That's no problem. However, you could also stick around here for a few minutes, and I'm going to walk you through the 3 things God wishes you knew about being busy. And this includes how He wants you to experience deep rest and peace in Him without working so hard, while still making time for everyone and everything that's important to you, everyone and everything that you want to pour into, right? Everything that needs to get done. So that might sound like a miracle, right? Being able to do all the things that you do right now without burnout, without overwhelm, while still completely resting in Him and having peace. Does that sound like a miracle to you? Because if so, we are very blessed because God is in the business of miracles. And He's also in the business of rest. So for those of you who don't know me, I am ALANA Palm, and I help Christian women overcome the effects of complex trauma without spending years talking about their problems. Isn't that nice, right? And this live is for you today if you're the woman who tries to do it all. You're busy. You've got so much going on, you take care of it all, and maybe you're the type of woman who says yes to everyone all the time, right? Or pretty much all the time, because you like being busy and you like helping others, right? And at the end of the day, you lay your head on your pillow and you think, oh, I did so well today. Look at all the things I got done. Or maybe not, right? Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you do so much for everyone else that it's wearing you out. And you don't know how to say no, right? Because some of you might not know that no is a full sentence, but it's hard to say no at times, right? Because maybe when you do say no, it becomes this long-winded explanation. Instead of being a full sentence, it's no, because, this is going on, this is going on. You go into this big explanation of why. And the truth is you can do it. You just don't really want to. So you're kind of trying to explain yourself and justify and defend. But really, the truth is you could just say no because you don't want to, right? Or because you want to spend time for yourself, but you say yes because it's easier than just trying to explain yourself or explain that, hey, I just need time for me today, so I don't really want to help you with that thing, right? Who wants to say that? And how do you explain that you're just tired? You just need time to recharge, right? Because a lot of us think, oh, that sounds selfish. We don't want to be that person. We can muster up whatever we need to help somebody else in need because that's what we're called to do, right? And often it can be easier to pour into others than spend time alone anyway. Because the truth is, some of you might not like being alone, right? You get so consumed with your thoughts, and that's when you start to get down. So it's better to just focus on other people, focus outside of us, right? Or is it? Is that actually the best way? Is that what God wants for us? When your head hits the pillow at night, you could be thinking about all the things you did well that day, but that might not be what fills your mind, right? Maybe you aren't patting yourself on the back for a job well done, and you're actually filled with these ruminating thoughts and anxiety about what you didn't do well that day, right? All the questions. Did I show up okay? Did I say the right thing? What about this situation, right? And we question ourselves. Is that true for you? Because the truth is there's so much more going on beneath the surface here. And it's funny, one of my clients just messaged me yesterday feeling depleted because she realized she was in this old pattern of doing everything for everyone at her own expense, yet again. So she has historically been a Martha, and you obviously know who Martha is, right? So in Luke 10:38 to 42, I'll read you a little bit from that. Now, as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she went up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me. But the Lord answered her, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. Right? And like Martha, and maybe like you, my client who contacted me yesterday, she loved to work, right? She's had the great job, which she loves, but it's very demanding, right? And she learned the last 12 months in the Set Free Academy that she couldn't keep going at that pace or she was just going to burn out. And she was actually missing out on valuable time resting in God. So she recognized, because we teach you how to recognize what's going on, to play detective with yourself and understand why you do the things you do. She recognized what was happening the other day and she took a big step back to regroup. And this is what she messaged me about. She wanted to regroup and just figure out what she needed for herself to stay healthy, because she recognized that she was back in this pattern and she was working so hard that she was starting to actually get sick, right? We get physically ill when we're just doing, going without rest. And she'd also been taking care of her adult kids and her grandkids who are living with her right now. And of course, she has a huge heart, like all of my clients do. They have these big hearts and they love helping people and they love being with their family and their grandkids, but she was tired, right? She didn't have her own space, and therefore something was always taking her attention away from either herself and her own personal work or her time with God, right? And Psalm 46:10, which I'm sure you know, before I even say it, is be still and know that I am God. But being still is so hard for so many of us, isn't it? And she realized that she had to take time off work, right? She was going so much that she was like crashing big time. And she wanted to take time off work while her kids were gone, her grandkids were gone, so she could just take time alone and recharge. And she realized if she didn't start taking care of herself and spending more quality time with God, that she wouldn't be good for anyone, right? And she was ready to, like, she was done. She was at the end of her rope, right? And that's sometimes when we come smack into reality and go, oh no, I'm in this pattern again, right? Because these things sometimes just pop up for us, don't they? But thankfully, she's completed the academy. She just finished. She's actually one of the testimonials in the guide section if you want to go through the testimonials. And when triggers like this happen for her, she knows what to do. She recognizes that old pattern rearing its ugly head, because they do, they're patterns for a reason, right? They rear their ugly head, and she takes a step back and chooses to focus on rest. And I'm talking about a woman who didn't take a weekend vacation by herself until she was over 50 years old. So this is big for her, right? Working through these patterns. This is old patterns that just sometimes pop up. But I love helping women learn the tools and the strategies to manage themselves better for life, for their whole existence. So when this stuff happens again, they can do something about it and have that deeper relationship with the Lord, right? So obviously we give you a toolbox full of strategies that you can use for life to continue breaking those old patterns when they pop up, even long after you've completed the program, because old habits die hard. So don't be hard on yourself if you notice this thing popping up for you, because it's hard to break a pattern. So of course, my client here continues to do the deep work. We teach her in the program to sense those deeper parts of her that are showing up when these triggers happen. Because when we're triggered in this way and we start to show up again with doing all the things, it's because there's something deeper going on. And actually, most of the Set Free Academy clients, most of the women I work with, struggle with parts of themselves, just like I did, that want to please, that want to try hard, that want to make everyone happy, do all the right things, stay busy. And we know this, so we provide deep inner healing work to help Christian women heal their subconscious blocks in the name of Jesus, because we are all co-laborers with him, and we need to step into that deep healing work in partnership with him when we've gone through a lot of complex trauma. And it's so beautiful when we can step into that partnership with him in our healing, right? And that's what really helps the clients go from, and will probably help you go from, complete overwhelm, right, where you just feel like you're sinking and you're just barely keeping your head above water, on the way to burnout, to making responsible decisions to take care of themselves first so they can be better for everyone else and actually rest in God, right? And do all the things from a place of rest. So Matthew 7:21-23, I want to read to you. It says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, 'Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name and do many mighty works in your name?' And then will I declare to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness.'" And this scripture comes to my mind a lot because Jesus knew that it's so easy to get so busy that we forget about our relationship with him. We're doing all the things, but we're not being in relationship with him. And it's so easy to get caught up in that. But here is the hard truth, that it's very hard for us sometimes to recognize. And so first of all, while I'm kind of talking, if anything resonates with you from what I'm saying, please put it in the comments, because I'd love to know if you see yourself in what I'm explaining, if any of these things hit home for you, if you're a doer, if you're a busy woman who's doing all the things, right? I'd love for you to just put your experience in the comments. So here's the hard truth. Being busy is a way to help us avoid pain. And often that pain is exactly what we need to have deeper rest. To heal that pain is exactly what we need to have deeper rest in him. Because if we don't have peace in our heart due to the pain we're carrying from the past, like all that baggage that we have trapped inside of us, right? We're not going to be able to fully experience his peace, because we use being busy as a way to keep from experiencing the pain that's inside, but it also keeps us from experiencing God's peace and rest. So being busy can actually be a protective mechanism that keeps you from facing what's going on deep down, because the truth is, who wants to deal with all that junk underneath, right? It's better to just put it in the past and move on. But the thing is, if you keep pushing it down, it's just going to result in health issues, anxiety, stress, even autoimmune disorders, and so much more, including, most importantly, feeling far from God. Because pain consumes us inside, right? It takes our attention away from God. It distracts us, right? And it's a way for the enemy to keep discouraging us, because he keeps kind of like lighting a fire under that pain and igniting it for us over and over again until we clear that out. We don't make as much space for God, right? Because we're so distracted by it. It's difficult. So, when we're filled with the junk of the past, it leaves less room for God's light to come in. I talked recently in my 5-day intensive about this box that we have inside of us that's like covered with chains and ivy, and it's everything locked up inside there that we've not wanted to deal with in our life, that we've kind of stuffed in there and tried to forget about. But the truth is, that's a part of us. So when we open that box and deal with the pain, we're also opening that box for God's light to come in. But if we keep it trapped in there, it's always going to consume us, right? And we're just going to keep using different strategies and techniques to avoid dealing with it. And one of those, for many of us, is being busy, right? And we need to remove that negativity that's filling us inside so we can really make more room for him and invite him in at a deeper level, and get rid of that fear that causes us to keep him at a distance. Right? And the truth is, if you keep going this way, if you're a busy woman and you just keep doing, working, striving, trying, you'll eventually have to stop, right? We just can't keep going at that rate forever. And the question is whether you do it by choice or by force. And stopping due to a crash and burn is not the best place to face the pain, right? Even though God gets our attention most when we're at the end of our rope, it becomes almost too overwhelming. And what if it didn't have to take you crashing and burning to face what's going on inside? What if you could partner with God now so that he could refine your character and give you rest, all while doing everything you love, instead of possibly being forced to stop and finally pay attention. Because that's no fun, right? When we're forced to stop and maybe laid up in bed and just can't do anything. I mean, I don't think any of us like that. And what if it could be done gradually at your own pace with a sense of safety and support? Now, obviously, it takes time and energy to put in the work, but I've never had a client say it wasn't worth it, because it's worth every moment, every penny, right? And sometimes they come to me with when they're at the very end of their rope and they're ready to crash and burn, or they have crashed and burned to a certain extent. And other times it's because they know, they're so wise, and they're like, I know I want to prevent the inevitable burnout that I see on the horizon, right? Or God will stop us sometimes. Yeah. Been forced a few times, yes, because he wants to get our attention. So God, his mission for us on earth, I mean, there are lots of things he wants us to do, like love him and be his hands and feet and all of those things. But another thing that's so important to him is refining our character so that we are more Christ-like day by day. So something I always think about is being 1% better every day. I'm like, what can I do better today than I did yesterday? Just 1%. By the end of the year, oh my goodness, there have been some big steps taken if I'm doing 1% every day. And it's always around, how is God refining my character? What does he want me to let go of? What does he want me to release so I can rest more in him? What is the trigger opportunity for me today that he wants me to deal with so that I can release it and have that deeper relationship with him, instead of being run by the trigger, being run by the emotional wound inside? He says, I want you to heal from that. I want you to release that. I want you to partner with me to release that. And then we grow together, right? And I experience more of his rest and his peace when I let go of those things, right? I used to have so many triggers. Oh my goodness. My daughter was a big one of them. My daughter was a huge trigger for me. And I learned over the last, 5, 6 years that I needed to heal some things that were deep down so I could be a better mother to her. So now, instead of getting frustrated with her when she does things, I'm so calm. And I'm just like, okay, sweetie, you made the choice, and I forgive you and I love you, and here are the consequences. Instead of getting mad because she made the choice, I used to get so mad because all the junk that was going on inside me. But God, as I've done this healing, has really helped me to rest in him in a new way, so that I don't hold on so tightly to everything she does or everything my husband does. I don't have to control things so much. And there's so much freedom in that. Give ourselves credit, cannot correct everything at once. Yeah. And God doesn't want us to correct everything at once. He doesn't want to be like, bam, everything's good, right? I don't think we could handle it. He prepares us for certain levels in our life. So he's going to give us exactly what we need right now. And he's going to lead us to the next step. He's going to light the next step on our path. We're going to step there, and he's going to prepare us for the next step at that point, and then the next step. I would never have been able to do what I do now 4 or 5 years ago. It would have been a completely different experience, and I would have been always concerned about what all of you thought of me all the time. I would have been worried about coming on, because what if I say the wrong thing? What if somebody judges me? What if I get an email or a message and somebody doesn't like what I have to say? I would never have been confident to come on video like this. He was preparing me day by day for the next thing he had, and he's still preparing me for more. I don't know what that is, but I know every day that I experience a trigger, and all of us are still going to experience triggers because there's so many layers inside of us. But now I know what to do about it. I have the tools, and God will be refining my character for the rest of my life. And I pray that he will do that, because I always want to be growing in a deeper relationship with him and have more room inside me, by healing all of those emotional wounds, to have more room to invite him in, right? So if you are overwhelmed and you're on that projected kind of burnout trajectory, right? You're going, oh, I see myself in this, and I am way too busy, and I need to do something about what's going on deep down, right? You're ready to do a deep dive into how you can have that rest and that peace in God without working so hard, right? While still making time for everyone and everything that is important. If that's what you want, then send me a private message, because I've opened up a few spots in my calendar. I don't have a lot of time in my calendar, but I have opened up a few spots over the next few days. And if you want one of those spots to have a set-free strategy session, send me a private message and tell me why you'd like to book a session with me, right? This is a complimentary 45-minute session, and my goal on the call is to help you see how you can stop being everything to everyone at your own expense, develop a plan to have abundant peace and rest in Him, and get clarity on your best next steps to heal from the past and allow God to refine you more and more into His character. So, if you want to fall asleep at night with that peace in your mind and heart, instead of thinking about all the things that you did or didn't do that day, then there's an opportunity for you. Like I said, there are a few spots available, so I'd rather just have you private message me first, just to make sure the call itself is a good fit for you first, and then I'll send you my calendar link and you can book a call. But the thing is, I would ask you, why are you hard on yourself about those mistakes, right? What is it that makes you want to isolate from people? Why are these mistakes so gut-wrenching for you, right? What do you make a mistake that you made mean about you, right? You made a choice, maybe the choice wasn't the best choice, but could you still love and forgive yourself for the choice you made without condemning yourself? Is that possible? Now, obviously, I can ask you these questions now, but if we do the deeper work, we would be able to find out where that trigger is, right? So that's an opportunity as well. And we did an activity actually on one of our group calls in the Set Free Academy about a worry box. So maybe you want to take this on. We actually designed a worry box. And what you do is when you're worried about something, you write it down on a piece of paper and you put it in the box. And what that means, it symbolizes you giving it to God and laying it down at the foot of the cross. But here's the really fun part about it. Fun. My version of fun is always deeper work. If you start to worry about it again, you get to go to the box and you get to take that piece of paper back out, which symbolizes, and you can even say it out loud, God, I don't trust you with this. I can't lay it down at the foot of the cross anymore. I need to pick it back up because I don't trust you with this. And that is huge, because that is a really big indicator for you where you're at in your level of trust with Him. And then when you're ready, you put it back in the box and you say, no, I'm laying it down. Now, a lot of the women who did this activity actually put something in the worry box and never took it back out again, because just even the thought of, I don't want to take it back out and like start to worry about it again. I don't want to take it back out and say I don't trust God with it, right? So it's a really interesting, yeah, my version of fun is always interesting, yes. So ladies, I think that is it for today. I have so enjoyed being with you. So please, reach out to me if you want to book a set-free strategy session and we can work through some things together. I'd love to help you out if you think I could be of service to you. So I am sending you lots of love, and I will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful rest of the week. I guess we only have like 1.5 days left if you're on the Eastern time zone. And then it's the weekend. So enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, ladies. Thank you for watching. If you felt connected to this content and it helped you in some way, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, check the description below for some special gifts just for you. See you in the next video.